Hello, Pastor Banks.
Is it already on?
She just came in, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, wait. Does it say, is the meeting being recorded right now? Because you can pause the recording.
It says recording.
It's obviously live, and then make sure that you are recording the meeting or the presentation. You can actually see what you see and also in the live.
Okay, so if you're on your phone and on Facebook, you need to turn one of them off because it's feedback. Good morning, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. Oh, I see you, Pastor Banks. You made it this morning. Miss Daphne, Patty, Ardell. I can't see all these names that's coming through. I see people are still connecting. Excellent, excellent. Excellent. As everyone is coming on and being connected, Happy New Year. We're on Zoom, as you can see, as we're connecting, but we're also on Facebook Live this morning. So we have two separate audiences. You'll see the number of participants on our regular Zoom that goes out through our constant contact. And then people who may not be members of the NAACP will be on Facebook Live, and they will be watching and listening to us today. So welcome everybody. It's been a crazy 2020, but we're looking forward for a better 2021, right? My name is Betty Williams. I'm the president of the Sacramento NAACP branch, and I am going to be chairing the first part of this meeting today. And as we are starting, I'm going to ask the secretaries to put up the agenda for today, because we have a packed agenda. And so one of the things that we normally do during the first half of the NAACP is the business of the day. So the first half hour or so will be the business of the day, and then the latter part of our general membership meeting will be the Black Wealth piece, or our featured topic of the day. And so we normally go by Robert Rules of Order. And so it just simply means we have a voting structure where we allow our membership to have information and to vote in as we are doing different things. So I'm giving you a little bit of background if this is your first time with us. And if it is your first time, let me show by your electronic hands if this is your first time joining us for our general membership meeting. Okay. Oh, wow. Excellent, excellent. Excellent, excellent. Well, welcome, welcome. We have our meetings every second Saturday. Welcome, welcome. Every second Saturday from 10 to 12. Regardless, the only time we don't have a meeting is the month of December, where we have our holiday celebration, but every second Saturday, excuse me, from 10 to 12. At this time, I'm going to ask the secretary to bring up the agenda for the day, so that I can officially open up the meeting. And I'm not sure if that's Stacy or Lorraine will be sharing the agenda. And then once the agenda is up, I will call the meeting officially to order so that we can start going into the various aspects of the meeting. So I'm not sure which secretary has the agenda. Is that you, Stacy? Or Lorraine?
Waiting for, I do have it. Can you hear me? I am waiting for Valerie. Can you give me sharing capabilities, and I can do that.
Okay. So while that is coming up, if you're not a member, it's just $30 per year to join the Greater Sacramento NAACP branch. And there we are. We have our agenda for the day. So I am going to call our meeting to order at 10:07. And the first thing I am going to do is entertain a motion. Sorry, my phone is running here. Entertain a motion to accept the agenda as presented. That's the entertainment of the motion I have on the floor. Do I have someone to move that motion?
Madam President.
Madam
Pastor
President,
Banks,
Ardillo, I move.
I will second that.
Okay,
You
so
have the-
Ardell Harrison has moved the motion and Pastor Banks has seconded the motion. Any discussion? Hear none. All in favor say aye. Electronic hands or say aye.
Aye.
None. If none, so moved. The next part of the agenda will be the reading and the approval of the minutes by our secretary. We did not have a meeting in December, so these minutes will be based on our November meeting. Stacy, is that you to bring forth our minutes?
Madam Secretary, if you can give me a moment, can we table that? And
Okay. While Stacy is pulling the minutes, I'm going to move on to the treasurer's report and have Ms. Daphne Gaudier come forward for the treasurer's report while Stacy is pulling the minutes. Daphne?
Hi, Happy New Year to everyone. In our January executive team meeting, I presented the financial report to the executive team and it was approved and we are in good financial standing. All of our bills are paid. And if there's anyone that would like a copy of the financial summary, I will put my email into the chat and you can email me and I will send out a copy.
Thank you, Madam Treasurer, for that report. So members who are interested in that, she will put that information out there. I will go back to the agenda item of the minutes. Stacy, do you have those for now?
no,
Okay, will you be able to get them or should we table it until later?
can we just table that? That would be great.
We can. So at this time, and I am going to ask for us to entertain a motion to table the minutes until next month. Actually, we're just going to wait till next month and just have both of the minutes presented at that time. And so that's the motion that I have for movement right now.
Madam President, I make a motion that we table the minutes until next month.
I have a motion
This
to,
is Daphne, I second that motion.
okay, thank you, Daphne. So it's by Pastor Banks, move the motion. Daphne second the motion. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? So moved. Okay, now we're going to the President's summary of events. At this time, I'm going to ask our team to bring up the President's report. With that,
for you.
okay, thank you. And so what I will do with the President's report is basically go over a summary of all the activities from the committees that we discussed during our executive committee meeting. And at some point, I may be pulling individuals in to highlight certain sections of that report. And then immediately after that summary, I will be going into the actual agenda items for discussion. So at this time, I believe my President's report will be coming. Okay. So part of the President's report, we welcomed a few new members. Dr. Dana Berry as the membership chair, Attorney Justin Ward as legal redress chair, and Larissa Wells as environmental chair for 21-22 for the Greater Sacramento NAACP. And we discussed some dates that we are going to be participating in throughout the year. And so we have the MLK, which we'll talk about later on the agenda, the MLK Caravan. We're going to have our swearing in ceremony. It's tentatively scheduled for the 16th, but based on the committee report, that date may change. We're going to have our leadership retreat on the 23rd and the 24th. The 29th, the state in the AACP is going to have its statewide training for the presidents, secretaries, vice presidents, and treasurers. And so everyone will be invited to that piece on February 1. We're going to have our annual legacy program where Ms. Huffman will be the awardee for the year. Ms. Huffman has served 20 years for the NAACP, and she recently retired. And we also will have our Black Wealth program at the end of our business meeting. If you can move the items up on the president's report so I can review the rest, Lorraine. One of the things that, I don't know, okay, I don't see my report anymore. So let me, while we're bringing up that report, I would like to introduce Jalil, who is our president for the Youth and College Division, to talk about one of the things that we did throughout the year. The Youth and College Division did a series on domestic violence. And so I would like for him to talk about how that series went, and he's going to introduce James Brown, which is a vice president, on some upcoming items for the Youth and College Division. Jalil?
Yes, Madam President. How are you doing today?
I am good. How are you?
Good. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for the introduction. Yes, we had the opportunity to host 3 domestic violence webinars with the help of SAC Connect, a couple other of connections that President Betty helped us make. We also worked with Ms. Daphne Gauthier with Mindsets Consulting and Counseling, and we also had a number of other panelists and mental health experts come in and talk about the different issues that are going on during COVID, the rise in CPS cases, the rise in abuse reports, and just talking about the different techniques and solutions that might be out there, different resources that might be out there for the community to tap into to make sure that everybody's kind of safe during this time. So we were raising awareness about domestic violence and just the general issue, and we have people share their experiences or any testimony that they might have from any abusive situations. And it was just a very inspiring 3-week seminar, and we were very happy to have everybody's help with that. And we had a good turnout at each of the 3 seminars, and we published it on YouTube so everybody could see and try to circulate it that way. So you can also check it out on our Instagram and also the SAC NAACP YouTube. So just check out SAC NAACP on YouTube, and also look up the SAC NAACP Youth Council on Instagram, and you'll find the information on what we did with the seminars. So we're really thankful, and it was a great opportunity, and thank you so much. Now I'll pass to our first Vice President, Mr. James Brown, to just briefly go over an idea that we have working on so far.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Jalil, for introducing me. Happy New Year. So I just wanted to briefly go over one of the first new projects that the SAC NAACP Youth Council has for 2021. So basically what we want to do by February, I believe we said around February 20th, we want to host, or not 20th, 27th, we want to host a Sacramento Advocacy Group Summit. So basically what we want to do is gather the organizations, nonprofits of Sacramento together and kind of have everyone talk about what their plans are for 2021, how they can provide resources to each other, and other goals that they can achieve together. So generally a meeting that kind of brings the community together, organizations that do similar things. We'll have breakout rooms that have that have different organization types. So one may be education and another may be counseling and recovery, all in order to make sure that 2021 is a really progressive year for nonprofits and make sure that we get do as much as we can for Sacramento. So we're currently progressing with that. We had a meeting about it yesterday, and things are moving fairly well with that. So I just want to let everybody know that that's going on.
So we might be reaching out to everybody, get everybody's support and connect with, different organizations that we can kind of tap into to make sure we can have the largest presence that we can. But we're hoping just to get everybody to the table, Thank you, Madam President. That's it from the youth. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Great report. Our Youth in College Division, our young people in general, from AXO to Youth in College, they're on fire this year. They're doing some great things. And so we want to make sure that we continue to support them. So with that, I'm going to go back to my president's report, and I'm going to ask Lorraine, or who's controlling that, to scroll down. And so that I can highlight some of the other pieces that some of the other meetings that we had throughout the year. And so one of them is COVID. Let's bring it. I'm just going to really highlight the second paragraph, although we do have masks, and I've asked for executive committees members to contact me, and they can pick up additional masks to give to their various connections and churches at 1215 K Street, but they needed to contact me in order to do that. But when it comes to COVID, we know that I feel like Sacramento and the state of California is on fire. And predominantly people of color, African Americans and Hispanics are really getting this virus. And so one of the things I've been part of a bi-monthly meeting is it's called the African American Coalition for COVID. And so I've been focused on the main jail in RCCC and juvenile, on where those cases are. And so for the past few months, I've been given some very small numbers like 12 and 21. But this past meeting, they came up with the cases of approximately 300 or a little over 300, which was crazy to me. The fact that how you're going to jump from 21 to over 300 cases in the main jail. And so my understanding was that the SAC Sheriff's Department received $1.4 million given to them on behalf of the COVID or the CARES funding. So I sent a written notification to the county asking to confirm that they truly did receive $1.4 million for COVID and CARES. And what they are doing with it, I requested an investigation and an audit of the jail of what they're doing with the monies. One of the reasons is because we personally had a case, we have many cases when it comes to the jail, but one of them, and particularly when one of the inmates was trying to be released, the Sheriff's Department was telling their family members they can only be released with an N95 mask. And we had to physically find a mask, and I'm going to give kudos to Lynn Baskin Berkeley, who did that for us, to find that individual in the jail a mask. And so my question is, if you're getting $1.4 million, why is the NAACP trying to find a mask for the inmates? So that's one of many reasons we're asking for a full investigation on how they're spending the money and how the cases rose from 21 to over 300 in less than 30 days. It makes no sense to me. The other piece that we highlighted was the CPS cases. We have a team that's been working with a number of African-American CPS workers. And actually you can scroll down because I'm not gonna go over the whole thing, I'm just hitting highlights. And the team that's been working with me is Selena Pryor, Lynn Berkeley Bascom, and Daphne Gauthier. And African American CPS workers. And so the reason why we got involved, because our cases for CPS went up, and which seems natural in a COVID environment with people being locked in. But what's happening with us is that African American families are not being able to get their family members back within the fold. And so there's a lot of policies that's preventing that. During this meeting, we discovered through their statistics that African American children are held within the CPS system longer than any other race. Also, that 40%, this is Sacramento now, 40% of African American children are in the foster care through CPS. 40%. That's crazy. So part of what we're doing, we're looking at the policy that's really not supporting African American families. There's implicit bias built in that, which keeps our families from coming together. One of the policies that we're working on is the background for family members. And because we have so many individuals who are in jail when it comes to African Americans, they could have done something 20 years ago and nothing else since then, and they will not allow that family member to take that child. So we're looking at that particular policy as well as others, and moving forward with making some changes there. I am also, we're going to be looking at the suspension and expulsion rate. Two major reports came in this year in 2021. One was the suspension and expulsion rate for the state of California, where once again, it didn't get better, it actually got worse, where African American children, males, are expelled more than any other race in the state of California. And once again, Sacramento County, the city of Sacramento, has more suspensions and expulsions of African American males than any other city in the state of California. Even Los Angeles, which is the largest county and the largest school district in the state. And so we actually wrote a resolution to the state NAACP and asked all the branches to work on the suspension and expulsion rate and to come up with a plan to try to decrease these numbers. But the most disturbing part of this report, I have to go back to who's being expelled and suspended the most. And it's K through 3, kindergarten through 3rd graders are being suspended in our own Sacramento more than anybody else. So we're dealing with that. The other piece that just came out was the racial profile report, which was ridiculous. Again, no surprises there. African Americans are stopped more than anybody else in our state. And the report included both sheriff and local police departments statewide. I basically focused on just Sacramento and the county sheriff, which those numbers were ridiculous. We have reached out to both the sheriff and the chief regarding this report and demanded a meeting, and they both said they wanted to meet. We need to do something about that. So these reports will be on our website. Our website is NAACP, and somebody can put it in the chat, NAACPSAC.com. And we plan on publishing these reports on our website. Our webmaster just received them recently, and so give him a day or so, but it will be on our website. And we would love, oh, do you have the we would love for you to see the okay. What is this you guys are showing? Okay. Okay, that's the, gotcha. Okay, this is our information for NAACP if you want to contact us. This is the website. This is our phone number. You can also text us as well if you want additional information. So both of those pieces are on there. At this point, that is the old website the Sacramento admin person is saying. That is true. That is the old website, but it will get you to the new website. It's actually in reverse. It's NAACPSAC.com instead of SAC. But either way, the old website will get you to the new website. We set it up that way because so many people have the both websites. So we want to make sure that you get the information on both the suspension report and the racial profile report. In addition to the suspension report, the state NAACP will be doing a full town hall meeting during the training, and our own Professor Luke Woods, who was one of the individuals that did the research on the suspension report. He will actually be doing the presentation for all 55 branches in the state of California and rolling out a recommendation of what we need to be doing in order to reverse this for the next time we do this report. So please look out for that information on our website. And this is just to remind you that this event and this town hall is being recorded and will be later placed on our YouTube channel. And we'll have that YouTube channel information in our chat box throughout this program. So at this point, I'm going to ask you to go back to the agenda. And I know we do have one action item on the agenda. But while you're pulling that up, I'm going to call on Velma Sykes to give you an update on the MLK caravan that we will be doing on January 18th. So while they're pulling the agenda back up, Velma, can you go ahead and give an update on the MLK?
I can, and thank you so much for the opportunity to even lead this project. We've been meeting weekly as a committee to ensure that the event is successful, and everyone has played a role. It's been great just working with everyone to make sure that our community is involved in this opportunity to show unity. The Sacramento NAACP and the Sacramento Black Lives Matter, as you know, aren't always known for working together across the nation, but President Betty Williams and President Tanya Faison from Black Lives Matter, they have a different relationship. The two organizations and their leaders are alike in the mission for justice reform. The two leaders have joined forces in their quest for police reform to eradicate homelessness and stopping the gun violence in our local neighborhoods. So this year we ride in unity to reclaim Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream. As Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said, the time is always right to do what is right, and for us, the time is now. So the Sacramento NAACP and Black Lives Matter, along with allies of both organizations, the National Action Network, the Urban League, the National Council of Negro Women, along with several supporters of NAACP and Black Lives Matter and various civil rights organizations within the region, will be coming together on January 18th at 9 o'clock. We will be joined by the Miss Black Sacramento and Junior Miss Black Sacramento in our caravan, along with the legendary Buffalo Soldiers. Sacramento Regional Transit's iconic Rosa Parks bus will lead the caravan from Grand High in North Sacramento through downtown, past the Capitol, to Sac City College, where cars that are waiting there will join the caravan. We'll travel through Oak Park by the historic McClatchy Park to Oak Park Community Center to allow additional vehicles to join the caravan. From there, we'll proceed through Oak Park to Sac State University, where we'll host a short rally. Everyone will be remaining in their vehicles. We'll make sure that we are, it is very important to us that we adhere to the COVID-19 safety guidelines. So we're asking that everyone remain in their vehicles and wear a mask. Again, the event will be Monday, January the 18th at 9 a.m. We are asking, you know, we need volunteers. If you'd like to volunteer, please join us. We'll be working hard to make sure that this is a success. And I have to give a pat on the back to our president, who put on her case yesterday and saved me in one of a very challenging situation. But because of her, we are able to again have our Rosa Parks buses involved. And I just want to say a special thank you to our president, because all the work that she's doing, she took the time out to help me with this and got it done very quickly and efficiently. So thank everyone that's been involved. Most of our committee members, volunteers from Black Lives Matter. I got a really good team, and I just want to thank everyone for their involvement and invite anyone that would like to help to please give us a call. Your help is needed, and we hope that you'll spread the news to your networks and join us for this very iconic, legendary event. Thank you.
Any information on Eventbrite?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, and please, and she did tell me this earlier, be sure you mention Eventbrite. We do have a page on Eventbrite. All you have to do is search SAC NAACP. It comes up. What we're trying to do is we have to maintain the amount of cars involved, and so we want to make sure that everyone can participate. So if you'll go to our Eventbrite page and register, so that we can have a more efficient count of the cars involved and be prepared so that everyone can participate.
Excellent, excellent. So please support NAACP. I love it that we're all coming together in one voice, one sound for MLK Day. The North is coming together with the South, BLM, NAACP, and that's the way it should be. And kudos to Velma. This is a huge project with lots of paperwork and lots of coordinating that she's been meeting on a weekly basis with the team. And so my hat goes out to you, Velma, for being the project lead on this and everything that you're doing. So I'm going into new business, where we have an action item of at the executive committee. We voted to sponsor the Legacy Gala that I talked about earlier in my president's report. All the branches statewide have been asked to support the California NAACP Hawaii Legacy by sponsoring, by coming in at a level of $1,000 each to support it. And we unanimously voted to support it. So we bring it to the membership for the final vote. So at this time, I am going to entertain a motion that we approve the $1,000 sponsorship for the Legacy Gala for California Hawaii NAACP. That is the motion that I'm entertaining.
Madam President, this is Velma.
Madam President.
I make a motion that we accept the, we move, I make a motion to move your ask of,
to approve the 1,000.
Yeah, of sponsoring the Legacy Dinner at $1,000.
It's been moved by Velma Sykes. Do I have a second?
Ardell Harrison, second.
Ardell Harrison has second. Any discussion? And secretaries, you need to help me with this because I can't see any. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So moved. And so the last part, or nearly the last part, just bringing you update. Cover California is still enrolling individuals who need coverage. And One Solution and California Black Health Network, which is the CBHN, is supporting enrollment for anyone that knows someone that may have lost their job due to COVID, or their income has been slashed for any of those reasons. They had to move. There's a number of reasons. And so we're just asking that you support this and share the information for anyone that may need, I'm not sure why that is coming up, but anyone that may need healthcare coverage. We know that people are in need of healthcare coverage, and this will support. So, and if you call the number or go to the website, most likely individuals can actually enroll you over the phone. So it's COVID safe. So just call the number and they'll ask you for a number of information, or go to the One Solution website where it has a one-page application where you can download and print. And then that's the main information you'll need to process. At this time, before we're about to go into our Black Wealth 2 presentation, are any final announcements that I may have missed, officers? And secretaries, help me with the raising of any hands, because I can't see them from here. So I hate to assume anything, but I'm assuming I see none. And with that, I am going to move, and we're going to now, okay, thank you, no hands raised. So we're going to now move into our Black Wealth segment, where Tanisha Broadway has been the lead person on this. She did a fantastic job before. Tanisha is our housing chair for the Greater Sacramento NAACP. She also is the president of the Realtors. And if I said that wrong, I hope she will correct me. And she is going to come on board and explain what the Black Wealth panel is going to discuss, as well as introduce the panelists for this segment of the NAACP Town Hall. So at this time, I'm introducing our fabulous and wonderful Miss Tanisha Broadway. Hi, Tanisha. You're going to have to come off of mute.
Yes.
There you go.
Good morning, Betty.
Good morning.
How are you doing? Oh, now you on mute.
No, what happened?
Well, thank you so much again this week for the opportunity to have this Black Wealth Matters conversation. It's so exciting and so much positive feedback from the last one. Myself, Keisha, and Michael are just so thrilled to be able to do a round 2 of this and ultimately continue this conversation, which is extremely needed. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the elements of the Black Wealth Matters categories. So myself, as a loan officer, I'll be really diving into, programs and really how to get started to become a homeowner today. And Keisha Matthews, she'll definitely dive deeper into the actual real estate market. And then Michael, I think he'll have a little how-to option for you as well. I believe we have Wells Fargo available too, to talk about small business loans and how to leverage those. And then of course we have Ardell available to give us some insight on commercial real estate, which is another way to generate income. So we're really excited today. And are they on? I haven't even checked to see if I see video. Oh, there's Keisha. Hey, girl.
And I see Karen on from Wells Fargo as well.
Oh, she's on there? Okay, cool.
Yes.
So we're all here. I see Michael. I see his nice background. I don't see his. Oh, there you go. Okay, brother. Good morning. Okay, wonderful. So yeah, if you're ready for us, we can get started. Okay, awesome.
Yes,
go ahead. I have a presentation that I'm going to need to share. So can I just share this? I'm just assuming I can. So let's just do this. Okay, let's go here. Let's go share. Okay, can you guys see? Can you see where it says welcome?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. All right, I'm doing this right the first time. Okay, good. Let me do that. All right. So again, my name is Tanisha Broadway, for those who don't know who I am. And I am, like Betty mentioned, the president of the Sacramento Realtors Association. I'm also a loan officer with Fairway Independent Mortgage, and I've been doing this for over 17 years. And of course, the housing chair for this wonderful organization. I'm supported by a team of experts in the industry. I have extensive knowledge on the various loan programs, and we'll touch just a little bit on them. This won't be a full tutorial on, every single program, but I'm going to definitely touch in on some of these things so you guys can take some tangible benefits away. Why homeownership? So this is really important to talk about because not everybody feels that they're in position or even want to become a homeowner. And so we want to dive into the reasons why it's very important for African Americans, especially, to become a homeowner. Homeownership is the key to growth of Black wealth. Like I said, there's so many folks who are still pretty much crippled by the fear of getting into position of buying a home. Maybe that's the fear of rejection, maybe the complicated process, maybe there's a fear you'll get taken advantage of. So there's a trust thing there. Maybe there's a fear that you won't be able to pay off your mortgage. I hear that a lot. But keep in mind, we can help you overcome these fears or challenges by creating a plan. And then if your plan is a year out, 2 years out, it doesn't matter. The key is we have to start now to work towards that. And so we're here to help put you guys in the best position when you embark on this real estate journey. Now, the first thing I'll talk about, and there's four things I want to touch on, is why homeownership is important. So it's a strong financial investment. So although we're in this COVID environment and there are some protections in place prior to this, and really actually just right now too, the real estate market is booming. And so that's going to bring opportunity to those landlords, to those, property managers, and they're going to want to take advantage and leverage their properties. And as we continue to have inflation, which we're dealing with, there's no guarantee that your rent won't increase. So there's no security, right? So with a mortgage, your payments are going to be stable. They're going to be fixed for a 30-year period. You don't have to worry about change. Now, ask yourself this question. If you're, still kind of like, I don't know, does your income grow at the rate of inflation? Probably not, but I guarantee you your rent will increase. Bullet point B. Think of your home as a savings account. I love using this analogy because it's real. So every month, right, when you make your mortgage payment, that's a deposit that's paying down your account and it's building equity. Okay, so what is equity? Equity is the difference between your home's market value and what you owe. Every time you make a payment, your house increases. So maybe it's tough for you to save. Buy a home, right? That's a huge investment right there for you to be able to build some wealth. Number 2, tax breaks. Now, I'm not a CPA, but you can ask your accountant. You will get some tax breaks when you own a home. Mortgage interest is deductible from your income tax, lowering your tax burden to Uncle Sam. And if we can get a break anywhere we can, take it. Number 3, leveraging the equity. So this is a big deal because when you own a home, and like I mentioned, equity, right, what that is, you're able to use that money and do different things with it if you want to, right? So home improvements, which is typically the number one thing that people use equity for. So if you plan on selling your home in the future or renting it out, turning it into an investment property, you can do upgrades into the home and bring more value to it by doing that. You can, if you have student loan debt or high credit card debts and you want to consolidate, you can use your home and leverage your equity to do that, right? Maybe you just need some emergency funds. You can have a stash put away, set aside by utilizing the equity in your home. Real estate investing, right? Keisha's on the line and Ardell's on the line. They'll talk to you about, purchasing multiple properties and what that could look like. And you can leverage your equity to do that. And a business startup fund. So if you have an endeavor that you've been working on for years and you just don't have the amount of capital that you need to get to the next level, owning a home can help you do that. So you have to look at the home as just more than just you're going to live there, you know, for the rest of your life. No, you have to leverage that equity in there to help achieve your goals. Okay. And the fourth thing I'll talk about, which is kind of the premise of my whole idea of homeownership and why this is so important to me and I'm so passionate about it, is building generational wealth. So I don't know if you understand the key to building generational wealth, but Black folks, we've had a very difficult time trying to achieve this. We've been dealt the worst kind of cards. Due to centuries of systematic racism and structural inequities, in the US, most Black families have just 8.6% of the wealth of the typical white family, according to a 2006 estimate from Brookings Institution. Now, even though the US has recovered from the housing crisis, Black homeownership still remains affected, with only less than 41% of Black Americans homeowners compared to that of 73% of white Americans. One of the most common ways that people inherit and pass on generational wealth is with real estate. Real estate is the most appreciating asset that you can have. The ability to build generational wealth is contingent upon passing down assets. So without the ability to do so, each generation carries the responsibility of acquiring enough wealth to lead to their descendants. Difficulties of early Black Americans to purchase land and homes, it really has affected us, and it really leaves it difficult to build future generations. And so I encourage you to really take a strong look at homeownership if you've been on the fence about it. And these are the key ways to get there and why it's important. Now, I'm just going to jump real quick into a little bit of, okay, you know, what do you do? Can I qualify? So credit. When it comes to credit, you have to understand some of the little things that are important about it. Obviously, you want to pay your bills on time. We know that. The minimum score to own a home or to buy a home right now using financing is a 600 credit score. If you want to buy a home, but you don't quite have enough money to buy a home, so you're looking for some assistance, you need a 620 credit score. Some of the things that people have on their credit that can cause challenges to homeownership would be a bankruptcy, foreclosure, or short sale, or too much collection accounts, but that won't prevent you from becoming a homeowner. It just presents some challenges, and we'll have to work those out. That's why we got to start the plan now. Don't have a bunch of people running your credit, because that's going to cause challenges as well. We can talk about the difference between, you know, your balances on your cards versus your credit limit. We'll get into that more on a one-on-one. And then one important thing I will talk about credit, you know, if you got a bunch of credit cards, you don't necessarily need to go, you know, close them. You can stop using them, don't close them, because if you've got like that JCPenney's card that maybe you got 10 years ago, you don't use it, so you're like, I'm gonna just close the account because I don't use it. Well, even if you don't use it, you still have all that 10-year history of having it, and that's what's helping your score and your credit history. And so you don't wanna, you know, cut yourself short by getting rid of a card that has a lot of history attached to it. So if you don't wanna use the cards, just pay them down, cut them up, just don't use them, but keep making your payments, okay? Loan programs. These are the basic loan programs that are out there. And within these programs, there's different nuances that, of course, we can chat about one-on-one with anyone who's interested in taking that step. But you got conventional financing, you may have heard of that term. FHA financing, typically a type of financing that first-time home buyers go with. We have VA financing. If anyone on the call is a veteran, there's special benefits to you for your home ownership journey. 100% financing is available to you. There's USDA loans if you're looking to buy in a rural environment, and then you have jumbo financing. Some of the minimum down payment. So regardless if you go down payment assistance or not, when you buy a home, there's a minimum down payment required. So that means, okay, let's look at that. Conventional financing, like I mentioned, minimum 3 to 5% down. Conventional financing is typically for someone who's got some stronger credit, or maybe you and your mind are wanting to buy a fixer-upper. Then conventional financing is going to be the direction you're going to have to go in. FHA financing, minimum 3.5% down. Like I mentioned, a veteran loan is 100% financing. You got USDA and jumbo. Keep in mind, even if you go down payment assistance, you're still going to have a little bit of funds available. So, and I'll talk a little bit about those programs here, but I just want to let you know that there's no like 100% no out-of-pocket option available. You got to have a little bit of skin in the game. So the couple of the programs that I do for my clients, the first one, Cal HFA, it's an option where I can cover, in most cases, all of your down payment and then a significant amount of your closing costs. So that's what I mean by, you know, you got to have a little bit of skin in the game. I tell my clients, if you're looking to buy a home and you're trying to figure out, well, how much money do I need? If you're going to go down payment assistance, if you can save minimum like $5,000, that's a great start. You know, $8,000, you're in a great position. If you got 10 grand, then we can definitely do some things, but you got to have at least 5 grand. So start saving now if you're kind of stuck in that spot of you don't know where to start. Okay. I do the Shira program. That's a program you can speak to Keisha and Ardell about it, but basically it's tied to a property. So some properties out here in Sacramento have different qualifications as far as how much they cost, and there's different criteria with the type of buyer that could buy that property. You can't make a certain amount of income. There's a lot of nuances with that, but they're like way under market value, and there's not that many of them, but there is some unique options out there. Then my platinum program is a grant. So basically that's free money that you can get that you don't have to pay back, because some of these assistance programs, you're required to technically, it's technically a second mortgage or a silent mortgage. So you don't necessarily have to pay it back unless you were to ever sell your home. But this particular program is actual grant funds. And we can talk about that, the differences between those in detail for those of you who want to take that step. Because again, this is just kind of a quick overview of how to get started. And so this is how you're going to get started. So if today you're on this call and you're thinking to yourself, you know what, I at least want to see where I am, you know, what I need to do, go to my website today, right now. It's right here, TanishaBroadway.com. You click apply now. You complete the application, put all your details in, everything that you can think of, put it in there. While you're doing that, I also want you to gather these documents that I'm going to need from you, which are just the minimum items, so I can really fully analyze your profile and figure out where you are. Are you, ready to go now? Or are you 6 months away? Or are you a year away? And that way I can really communicate with you any challenges that we may face, and we can help, put together the blueprint to get you to that next level. So I'm going to need 30 days worth of consecutive paycheck stubs. You have to have been working for the past 2 years in order to buy a home. You cannot be unemployed. You have to be physically working. I'm going to need your tax returns, the last 2 years, as well as your W-2s. I'm going to need to see that $5,000 that we talked about, that minimum amount, and then some. I'm going to have to see that in a bank account. So you're going to have to give me 2 months of your bank statements. It can't be mattress money. You can't use cash in a real estate transaction. It's got to have a place that it resides in a bank account. It has to have a paper trail attached to it. So if you got 10 grand in a shoebox at the house, go put it in the bank right now. If you're self-employed, I need 2 years tax returns and a year-to-date profit and loss statement. If you just started a business last year, we can't use that. You got to have 2 years of being self-employed, because I need 2 years of tax returns in order to figure out how much money you make. Okay. Now, once I receive your application, I'm gonna pull your credit. I'm gonna analyze your income. I'm gonna look at your assets to determine how you're looking. What do we need to go back to the drawing board? We'll figure out exactly how much you can qualify for, or come up with a game plan to get you in position. And then from there, depending upon, me reviewing your financial profile, I'll issue you a full pre-approval, and then you can connect with an agent and actually get out there and start looking for a home. Or again, if it's a little bit in the future, then we'll come up with a game plan to get you in position 6 months or a year from now. But the key is you want to start the process now. You want to figure out where you are, because if generational wealth is something that you want to obtain for your family, then obtaining that asset, that most appreciation asset as a home, is the key, and it starts today. So with that being said, if you want to contact me, here's my information, and I will also put it in the chat. But again, you can go directly to my website, which is just myname.com. My email address is right there. You can click my schedule consultation button, which you can put down a time that works for you. My hours are always open, although we're in this COVID environment. I keep myself very available for my clients because I want you to be able to reach me so we can help you. And my phone number is there. Please, you can call me today. You can text me if you have any questions, but I'm here, you know, as a resource to you, as a resource for the NAACP to help our people achieve the dream of homeownership. So with that, thank you. So let me stop my share. Okay, cool. So at this time, I would like to introduce Mrs. Keisha Matthews. She is a wonderful, wonderful real estate agent, businesswoman, and I'll let her do her little intro and then she'll go from there. But Keisha, are you available, honey?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, cool.
Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Tanisha. So I was trying to decide which part to share, and I think I'll just piggyback off of Tanisha between purchasing residential real estate or purchasing investment property. Based on the information that Tanisha has provided, I think I want to do my presentation this morning on how to buy residential real estate if you're going to own or occupy, not specifically investor, but just the process. I just want to acclimate you to what that looks like, how you need to prepare, and it will join with what Tanisha just shared with you. How can I, let me see if I can share my screen. Let's see. Okay, am I sharing my screen? Can you see that, Tanisha? The buyer's interview worksheet?
Sure can.
Okay, perfect. So I just want to start with, if we are having a conversation from the time that you say you want to buy a home, the very first thing, or that you're interested in buying, you don't have to be ready. The main thing that I like to stress in the African American community is that you don't have to be in a position to buy to start having the conversation. You just want to reach out to a real estate professional or a mortgage officer like Tanisha, real estate professional like myself, and start asking the question, what do I need to do to get ready to buy? So when you start with that question, myself or others like myself or lender partners like Tanisha will help you map out a plan to get you on a path to home ownership. So once we go over your financials and help you map out a plan, it may turn out that you might not be ready to buy that day, or you could be. You may not be, you may be ready in 3 months. You may be ready in 6 months. You may be ready in a year. I've worked with people who they're 2 years down the line and they've reached out to me now, or whatever lender partner I've connected them with said, hey, Keisha, so-and-so is ready. They initially mapped out a plan, mapped out the steps, walked out the steps, and then they became ready. So what I'm showing you in this screen is that initial consultation that we have with you to get you ready. And this is just in general. And in speaking with specific lender partners, they may have some other questions for you. But number one says, do you have money saved for a down payment? No or yes. And this is just my worksheet that I work off of. The lender partner is going to actually have you fill out a loan application, like Tanisha gave you her link to fill out the application. You do have to start there. They do need to look at your credit profile, because if there's work that needs to be done on your credit, you want to have that work. You want to be working on your credit report so that when it's done and when you're ready, it is what it needs to look like for a mortgage loan. Sometimes people will make the mistake and say, I'm working on my credit, and you're trying to delete everything off your credit, but a mortgage lender needs to see certain things. They need to see revolving credit. They need to see things specific to showing their the people that are going to hold that loan that you're credible and you're credit worthy. So you want to allow the lender to pull your credit. Don't be afraid of that. And it doesn't have to be A1 credit. They're going to help you map out a plan of what you need to do to get it where it needs to be. And that's the other thing with the lending market and the climate, things are changing all of the time. So what was qualifiable last year or even 2 months ago may not be the same today. So you want to make sure that you're talking to a lender professional, not your friends, not Zillow. You know, you want to be talking straight to the horse when as you're dealing with getting really ready to buy. Okay. So having money saved for a down payment can help you. It puts, as Tanisha said prior, it helps you put some skin in the game. You want to have some skin in the game. By the way, each of these documents that I'm going to share this morning, if you'd like a copy, simply email me at agentkey007@gmail.com and I'll send it to you. So that's agent007@gmail.com. AGENT, wait a minute. AGENTKEE, agent KEE 007@gmail.com. So if someone can type that in the chat, agent key 007@gmail.com, and I'll send it to you. Just ask for the documents. So these are some different places where the money could be coming from: your checking, your savings, annuity, 401k. People can gift you the money. It says mattress money. Sometimes people take that money and they put it under their mattress. You want to have this conversation with your lender. They need to know where the money's coming from, because when you get ready to use that money in your transaction, if it's under the mattress, they can't use it. So you need to tell them up front where it's coming from, because that money needs to be seasoned in a bank account. So they'll let you know, get that money in your bank account for 30 days or 60 days or however long the time frame is. So this is why you need to have these kinds of conversations way up front so that they can help you get ready. And number 2, closing costs. Oh, let me go back to number 1. If you don't have money for a down payment, Tanisha mentioned the down payment assistance programs. Again, you do want to try to save at least $5,000, $10,000, as much as you can, because in this particular real estate market, you want to have some kind of financial skin in the game, which will help your offer get accepted, because it's super competitive out there. I'm saying that as I'm also saying there are down payment assistance programs and there are closing cost programs. So you want to let your lender know whether or not you have money for down payment or closing costs. And don't lie about it. Don't have the money and then say, no, I don't have it. You better tell them what you have, because that lender, if it's a good lender, they're working on your behalf. They're trying to put together the whole package for you to make you a strong buyer. So tell them what you have and what you don't have. Number 3, how do you plan to finance the transaction? Maybe you don't need a loan. Maybe you're an all cash buyer. Let them know. They're going to ask that. Where's that money coming from if you're all cash? Have you been pre-approved? If so, by whom? So these are questions that I would ask as a real estate agent. Your lender's going to ask, and your lender may ask more. These are in general questions that I would ask as a lender, as a real estate professional. And if financing is needed, who's going to be on the loan? How many people are buying this house? Is it just you? At this time, I probably would also ask, is there going to be anyone who's a decision maker? Maybe they're not going to be on the loan, but they're going to be helping you in making the decision in buying a home. And that's good to have someone in your corner who you know may be a little bit more informed about the process, kind of walking this out with you, helping you as you make decisions, as you talk to the lender, and as you talk to your real estate professional, just to help acclimate you and get you comfortable with the process. Do you currently own or rent a home? If you do own a home and you're buying another home, then that means you could possibly be moving up, buying where you're owner occupying, and then the home that you're living in becomes an investment property. Or you may want to sell that home or need to sell that home in order to buy your next home. So these are conversations that need to be had, things that need to be thought about. If you're renting, that needs to be known, because if you're renting, then that means you're probably in a lease agreement or at least month to month, and you need to know how much time you need to give your landlord when you get ready to close escrow. All of these are things that you need to be thinking about. And then pre-qualifying information. This is information that your lender is going to ask you. How much money do you have coming in? How much do you have going out? And that's going to be asked of everyone who's going to be on the loan. And you probably hear, when we say money coming in, money going out, you may hear more often the term DTI, debt to income ratio. This is what helps determine that. The next item on there is preferred monthly payment. So preferred monthly payment, we all would love a mortgage that's $1,300 or $1,400 a month, right? If you have been renting for a long time, chances are your rent is probably $1,700 or less. If you've been renting recently, then that means that you're probably more acclimated to what your mortgage might really look like than most other people, because your rent's probably somewhere between $1,700, $2,000 a month, depending on, you know, the size home that you have. I bring this up because sometimes the monthly mortgage payment is sticker shock. And if your rent hasn't changed in the past 10 years, get ready for sticker shock. And you got to get acclimated as quickly as possible. And my best method for helping acclimate my clients is to really step back. Number one, make sure you're budgeting. You have a budget, a written budget, so that you can see what's going out, what's coming in, and exactly how much money you have to spend toward your housing needs. Number two, look at your housing purchase as an investment purchase. If you look at it as an investment, the sticker shock might help. Looking at it as an investment might ease the sticker shock, because it's something that you plan to hold. You hold an investment over the long term, right? And with real estate, the equity that accrues over 1 year or 3 years or 5 years, we're talking about thousands of dollars. So if you're purchasing a home that you plan to stay in for 5 to 10 years, you could be looking, you're automatically looking on an average 3 to 5% equity gain every year. That's on average. In this current market, we've been seeing upwards on average of 9%. That's bananas. Can I just say that? That's bananas. So if you're looking at the difference between when you once paid maybe $1,500 a month for your rent, and now this mortgage is $1,900 a month, that's a $400 difference. Look at that $400 and see where else you might spend that on a regular occurrence every month. And is it worth redirecting those $400 to an investment that's going to grow your wealth exponentially and position you for retirement and wealth building and other investment opportunities and inevitably generational wealth building? Is it worth it? Only you can make that decision, but you've got to step back from the tree and look at the whole forest to make that decision. I don't know if I'm going to get all to the other documents at the rate I'm going. I might just get through this one and just kind of breeze through the other two for you all. Housing needs. What's the urgency of your housing needs? Have you looked recently, and what were the results? Your lender partner and your real estate agent want to know how much you know. We are in a time where information is really easily available. And sometimes you can almost feel like you're the specialist because you can go online so easily, so quickly, and easily find that information, especially if you're tuning into the HGTV programs and you watch them long enough, you start to think that that's the real process of buying homes, you know, something that they do in a 30-minute program that usually takes us 2 to 3 months or more to get through. They condense it down to 30 minutes and it looks so easy. And that's just not the case. I have yet to have one real estate transaction that has repeated another one. They all, in my 16 years, they all are different. Everyone's financials unravel differently because ultimately the transactions point back to the individual. And if we look at ourselves as individuals, we're all different people. So I say that to say, when you begin your search, try not to think that you know it all. If you are working with someone who specializes, there's a chance that they might know a little bit more than you, and together your combined information will help you have a really successful transaction. So I appreciate those who come to me and say, hey, you know, you're the specialist, you do this every day, we're trusting you, and this is what I know, and you'll help me walk through this. That's a good transaction. That's a good client. We're going to have a great transaction together with a buyer with that mentality. Okay. And so that's the end of that document, but that's kind of like the buyer interview. That's the basis for what you need to get ready for, the kind of conversation that you need to have. The next document I want to share with you is what can you expect to pay? And I tell my buyers that there's 4 times when you're going to come out of the pocket on a real estate transaction for your purchase. The first one is your down payment, and the down payment can come from an amount that you've saved, a down payment assistance program, or sometimes even in the form of a gift from a family member or a friend. Try to move this over here so I can, there we go.
Hey now.
Okay. In the instance of a gift, also called gift funds, check with your lender to make sure that you abide by any guidelines that might allow this. Your down payment will be applied to your purchase price. If your purchase price is $300,000 and your down payment is $20,000, you subtract the down payment from the purchase price, and that's the amount that you'll be financing. So $280,000.
Keisha.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we supposed to see the document? Because we don't see it anymore.
Uh-oh.
We see your pretty self sitting in your silver chair.
I'm sorry, y'all. That was not intended.
That's okay. And real quick, while I got you, I got a couple of questions people are asking about. What's this market doing? So I'd love for you to jump into that for us.
Okay, I'm trying to speed through to give everybody else time, you guys. So, okay, I'll answer the questions. What is the market doing? The market is bananas right now. If you are trying to, if you're a buyer, you are running into multiple offer situations. What can they see on the screen right now, Tanisha?
It says, what can I expect?
Okay. Should I change back to myself?
Yeah.
Okay, where do I do that at? Oh, I got to open up my screen. Okay, forget it. I can't find it. Wait, there it is. I found it. Okay. So the market right now is a little bit crazy. There's not a lot of inventory. So there's 3 things going on right now. Interest rates are low. There's not a lot of inventory. And there are buyers that are buying because they can live anywhere they want. That's a phenomenon right now that's happening because of COVID. It's only increased everything. We are hopeful that for 2021, we're going to see a little bit more inventory come on the market. If new home construction can speed up a little bit, if they can catch a break. And what I mean by that, last year, it just kind of came to a halt with COVID because a lot of the construction supplies were coming from China and overseas, and it just put a dent in that, making construction costs expensive and then not being able to get out there and work because of COVID. So if they can catch a break and catch up a little bit, having more new home construction on the market is going to actually loosen up prices a little bit. And what do I mean by loosen? Not loosen, flatline them a little bit. So they're not going to go down. People are expecting to see a fallout. That ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. And I think I talked about this before, and I'm saying it so like, you know, for sure. Nobody knows anything for sure. But if we look at the facts on the table, when the market fell out before, it fell out because there was an excessive amount of inventory. There were very, very bad loans. And there was one more thing that was happening. Those things aren't happening right now. What we have right now, there were investors instead of buyers. What we have right now are buyers, people who are coming to Sacramento to owner occupy. They're not coming here to buy up all the property. They're coming here to live and find a more affordable place for their family. They're bringing their high incomes with them, so they're spending that high income money right here in Sacramento. So if you live here and you're a Sacramento resident and you feel like you're being pushed out of the rental market or the purchasing market, the only thing that I can recommend that you do is level up your income or get ready to move to a different state or city, somewhere more affordable, because Sacramento's income level overall for their residents, it's increasing and it's justifiable. The other thing that's happening is that there's not a lot of inventory where there once was a lot of inventory. So that's the whole supply and demand. Where there is not a lot of supply and more demand, prices are going to go up. That's just how, that's just, you know, an economic rule of thumb. And then thirdly, of course, the interest rates, they're so super low. They're like historically low.
Yes, they are.
And when the amount of money, when it costs you very little to buy a home, everybody's going to try to get in there. So that's what's happening with the market right now. Was there another question?
No, I think that was kind of like the main thing people were just asking. I mean, we see it on TV. You're right about the interest rates. And I really just wanted, you know, we're to understand a little bit of the real estate process. And it's very similar to the loan process, obviously. But, you know, they want to know at the end of the day, they're going to be the ones showing you the houses, right? They're spending their time connecting you to different properties, and that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work that your real estate agent does. And by the way, Keisha, who pays the real estate agent?
The seller pays the real estate agent. So that's always a really good question, and it's kind of something that's unspoken, but I think it always lingers in the back of a buyer's mind is, how do I pay this person? How am I paying this person? And that's why it's also important that you stick with one agent, because there's only one commission for the agent representing the buyer. So if you are a buyer and you are out there asking lots of different agents to find homes for you, that's actually a very unethical thing to be doing. If that's a question that I ask buyers when I start working with them, are you working with another real estate agent? And if they tell me yes, then I tell them that they need to keep working with that agent, because there's only one commission out there. And, you know, my time is very valuable, and I'm not going to be utilizing my time along with another agent and another agent, another agent, when there's only one commission to be had. Yeah. So if you find a good agent, that's why it's important to find a good agent, a reputable agent who's going to work hard for you. And in this market, you might have an agent who's working hard for you. They're showing you property you want to see, and they're making offers on your behalf, but your offers aren't getting accepted. That doesn't mean that that's a bad agent. That means, hello, welcome to real estate in Sacramento right now. Because that's just how things are happening.
Exactly.
But you got to stay with that agent. It just took me, I just closed a transaction yesterday where we've been looking for property for 2 months. We made 8 offers. We've had 4 accepted offers. We were in escrow twice, and we finally closed. But that's, you know, that's the name of the game right now. That's what it looks like. Wash, rinse, repeat for everybody. But I want to make sure that I tell people that there's 4 times when you're going to come out of the pocket when you are in a real estate transaction. I hate to see people get to the signing table and get surprised when they get hit with a different number than what they originally went in with. That's no bueno. Nope. So you got to know that those 4 times, like I was starting to say, was your down payment, your closing costs, your earnest money deposit, which is the good faith deposit, which is typically 1% of your purchase price, and your inspections and appraisals. Did you have something you want to say? Because I want to go over that real quick, and then I'll close out.
No, I mean, that's a good point. Quickly go ahead and definitely give us your final thoughts on that.
Go back to sharing that screen there. Can you see that?
No.
Shared screen? Nope. I guess got to hit share. Okay. So the first time we said was the down payment. The second time is the earnest money deposit. And the earnest money deposit lets the seller know that you're serious about purchasing their home. It's typically 1% of the purchase price, and it gets deposited within the first 3 days of opening escrow. So it's money that you need to have in your bank account. So for example, if the purchase price is $300,000, then your earnest money deposit should be $3,000. So that's money that you got to have in your bank account ready to go. When Tanisha said have that $5,000 in there, that was an excellent number because that could possibly cover your earnest money deposit as well as your inspections. And then assuming that you're probably getting some down payment assistance and closing cost assistance as well. So having $5,000 at least is a great number to aim for. The third time you're coming out of pocket is for your appraisal and inspection fees. The appraisal is executed by your lender. So Tanisha would order the appraisal once your escrow got accepted, and then her company would reach out to you for the billing of the appraisal fee, which is about $500, $600, right, Tanisha?
Yep.
In there. And then your inspection fees can run anywhere from $1,000 to $1,200. Could be more, could be less, but that's a nice conservative cushion that I like to give. And we always recommend 3 inspections, which is the home inspection, a pest inspection, and a roof inspection. For sake of time, I'm not going to go into this again in great detail because I want to allow the other speakers time to speak. But again, if you'd like this documentation, just email me at that email address and I'll forward these documents to you. The fourth one is closing costs. So if your purchase price is $300,000, using about, we usually estimate the closing costs to be between 2 to 3%. So your closing costs could be somewhere around $9,000. This is where the closing cost programs and the down payment assistance programs come in. We know that in our community, we don't have $10,000, $20,000 sitting in our bank. Statistics say that. So that's why the down payment assistance programs help. And
Keisha, I'm going to ask you to wrap it up because we got some other speakers. I am so sorry, but we have to wrap it up. So if you can give us your final thought with this piece, thanks.
I'm actually done.
Okay, how can they find you, Keisha?
The last document you can ask me for as well. You can reach out to me at Agent Key, AGENTKEE 007 at gmail.com.
Awesome. Thank you. And sorry for the little bit of rush, you know, girl, we on a time schedule.
No, it's here. Okay. I know it's a lot of folks.
We gotta keep it going. But so much wonderful information. I mean, that's big time, you guys. Keisha's a phenomenal real estate agent. And for those of you who are looking for an agent, she's available for you to chat. Is Ardell available? Is he there?
Yes, he is.
Hi, Mr. Lamont. How are you doing? I'd love for you to give our audience a little bit on some commercial, because obviously residential real estate is, you know, that's where you're living, but there's other ways you can buy other types of real estate. Talk to us about that. What you got for us?
It is. I would like to share my screen. I'm just going to go through it real quick so that we just touch the water, but I love what you guys are saying. It's good to hear, you know, that process on how to create that wealth and then eventually become, you know, commercial and investors. So I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, can you see that?
We can.
Okay. Again, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Ardell Lemon. I've been in the game for 36 years now. I'm a real estate broker and a general contractor. And today I just want to walk through, once you've got with Keisha and got with Tanisha and you got your qualifications and you have your houses, had them for a few years, and then you want to step up your game. This is how it's done. Now, excuse my computer. I'm at the end of the line here, so I might lose you for a second, but it's putting me right back on. So let's get started here. The introduction, the concept of where to purchase, when to purchase, and how to purchase are the fundamental and residential investing. Property that is in the path of growth is the key. I can't emphasize that enough. For those who play the stock market, it's similar to an option. You're betting that the property will be worth more in the future than it is now. And a lot of times, as a new investor, You might have to purchase property in a less desirable area, but now and then you'll find what we call a sleeper. You have a property that a friend of yours tells you about, or you find it on the internet, or you see a whole bunch of weeds in the front lawn and you knock on the door and you're able to get that deal. That's just getting out there and making it happen. This applies to most people with limited amount of capital. Usually they already have a primary residence or income property. So like I said, you've already gone through the first phase. So now you're just trying to create your generational wealth. Understanding the path of growth. As an investor, you have to understand the path of growth and its potential. When you are a new investor and you're maximizing your options, sometimes, like I said, you purchase it in a less desirable area, but location is the key. But sometimes you have to take an undesirable location just to get in the game. I'm gonna take you through walk down a path of some of my projects just to kind of let you know. This property right here was in the path of growth. I don't know if somebody would see that and say, "Ooh, I don't want that property," but that's a sleeper. Hey, can everyone still hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good. That's a sleeper. Now I bought that property for like $30,000. It was a housing case. It was one that we had to go through it. But while we were in escrow, it caught on fire. Okay, you say, well, okay, well, what happens now? Well, I say, well, I'm still under contract. I signed it, and the contract is based on at the time I purchased it. So, you know, seller, it's your problem right now. It wasn't burnt up like this. Well, the seller wanted to try to get out of the contract, and I knew the reason why. It's because he wanted to collect the insurance money. But I wouldn't let him off the hook because I know that, hey, once I'm under contract, you know, he's obligated to continue on with it. So anyway, when do you tear a building down? Now, if it caught on fire, you'll say, well, I don't want that property, I'll tear it down. When the land is worth more than the building, when the building is not at its highest and best use. Now, this is the benefits of developing a location. That property already had water, that property already had electricity, property already had curbs and gutters, and they had existing entitlements for school fees. You guys usually don't see the school fees because you're selling the property when it's all said and done. But after the property caught on fire, guess what I did? I took the caterpillar to it and just broke it down and say, we're gonna start from scratch, because I'll save probably 15, 20 fees and entitlement fees because they were already there. So now as we move forward, and we got the house built, we won't go through all that, but this was the final product. It was a gorgeous little starter home for someone. But the thing that they did not understand is that it had a garage. Now this is a small lot. The average lot is about 7,000 square feet. This lot was about 6,000 square feet, but it had a garage. Now, for someone who doesn't have a lot of money, and let's say they purchased this property and then they decided that, okay, I want another property. Now, before leaving this property, they should analyze all of the aspects of it, because the city of Sacramento, because of the high density and the demand for housing, they are allowing a guest cottage. Now, you can put a 1,200 square foot guest cottage in the back of your property as long as you meet the setbacks. The city even took it one step further, where you can put 2 600 square foot houses on one property. So therefore, you got the primary residence and you have 2 guest cottages. With today's market and people working from home, they might say, well, hey, let's take this tiny house and let's make it my office, and I'll just work from home. So these are the things that you have to start thinking about as you think out of the box. This is a beautiful home. It's a starter home, but you have the potential to put another home on it. When I go buy a lot, it costs me on the average of $60, $70, $80 to $125,000 with no entitlements. So if you design the house, you know, you give them a lot of space, nice floor, nice counters, and that's a really attractive house. We would have no problems with the houses that we build like that because we're giving the people something that they can work with. These other little appliances, kind of upgrade the appliances. The bedrooms are, fairly large. So this is, again, thinking out of the box. How can you maximize what you have? If your grandmother has a house and it's on a quarter of an acre, if your mother has a house and it sits on, an eighth of an acre, you might have enough room to build a little guest cottage on there, and that's generational wealth. Because most parents are going to leave their properties to their children. So this is just getting you to think out of the box. Once you've met your primary goal of getting your first residence. Entitlements, purchase of land, planning, design review, permits, marking, land and entitlements. These are the processes that we have to have when we're going through the process. So first, purchase a piece of land. Now this is a project that I found out of the north area. One, it's in the path of growth, but as you look to the side, you don't see any sidewalks, no curbs and gutters. There's nothing there other than the land. But my research showed that there was a property on there at one time. So therefore, there is probably a water connection. There probably is a sewer connection, but I'm still gonna have to pay the fees for that. Again, once you get the property, you're responsible for maintaining it. You have to keep the property clean. You have to keep the shrubbery down. You make sure it's not a fire hazard, or you will end up with a housing case. And there are different things like that. So we make sure that once we get in there, we go clean the lot off, we fence it over, and make it, so that the city doesn't bother you. And the homeless people don't mess with it, because if they see a lot of activity, they don't camp up there. But this is the ideal campground.
No.
Okay, there are many zones.
That's a Google sign-in.
Excuse me, whoever is not on mute, can you mute yourself, please?
Zoning on property will dictate it. Okay, R1 is for residential. RD20, that's for 20 apartments. C1 is commercial. LC is light commercial. M1 is the strongest use that you can have. You can have really a nuclear power plant on the M1. This particular property that we're looking at right now is an M1. And right now, it's in the path of growth in the Del Paso area. It's zoned industrial, medical, and recreational cannabis. Everybody wants a dispensary now. So that property just fell right into the core corridor of everything that's happening, again, in the path of growth. So the city says, okay, well, Ardell, let's go. You give me $5,000 and let's start talking. Submit these plans. These are the plot plans, the irrigation plan, every plan, the fire hydrant, the sewer plans, and everything else. He said, go ahead and submit those and let's see what we got. I got with my engineer and we started to design the property, keeping everything in mind. Now, keeping in mind, I'm proposing to build this, but not necessarily having to build it, because at the end of the day, I might just sell my entitlements. They might just want to pay for what I've already done. This project now has gotten approved out of planning. Now, planning is the hardest to get out of. Once they say your color is good, we like the doors, we like the windows, we like everything about the project, and you paid us the $5,000 and the additional $1,500 that they on the corrections. Okay, now you can take this to the building department. We're not even ready to build yet. We're just getting this. So this project right here took 7 months just to get it to this point. Again, the plans, the outlines, the final design. They finally have gave me a stamp, and now I'm in building. So we're in building, and now this is, when you really get a lot of attention. People are looking at this property now because I have the entire entitlements on it. So here's the last project I'm just going to show you. We call it other people's problems. This is my first commercial property that I purchased. It was in an undesirable area. It had a liquor store across the street. It had a slumlord renting out rooms in a rat-infested hotel. The condemned movie theater attracted the homeless. And every morning I had to walk around people sitting in my vestibule just to get in the property. Now I'm going to show you a picture of this, and y'all tell me, is this something that you've seen? I bought this property back in 1986. So I'm starting to tell on myself, but anyway, does anybody recognize that building? No one recognizes that building, huh? Okay. What about now? Do you recognize it now? Yes. That's the Broadway Triangle. That's Kevin Johnson's building, the Gill Theater.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Path of growth. You would have never known that. You look at this and say, what is that? That's somewhere. That was a condemned theater. This right here was a rat-infested hotel. Does anybody recognize this building? It used to be the Crocker Citizen Bank. This is the property that I bought back in 1986, and I'm not ashamed to tell how much I paid for it because I could barely afford it. I paid $86,000 for it. Okay? $86,000 in the path of growth. You couldn't give it away back then. This is what it looks like today. Now, for the people who are looking to live in that area, for $460,000 across the street, you can buy a condominium, a starter home, $460,000. This is what I talk about the path of growth. Del Paso is the path of growth. South Sacramento is the path of growth. This is the place where you want to go and anchor down and wait for things to come to you. It used to be other people's problems. We used to call it OPP. Today, this is one of the most sought after areas in the Sacramento. I owe a lot of gratitude to a friend of mine who helped make this possible. I have to give him props. Former Mayor Kevin Johnson. This was once an undesirable area and now is known as the Broadway Triangle. And everybody wants to come and be part of this. So as you guys go into 2021, I'm saying get on board. Make that commitment. Start saving your money. Get yourself some real estate. If you want to talk to me, I'll be more than happy to talk to you. But these are just some of our goals. Flight 2021. We just got our winery opened up on Sacramento River, Delta Breeze Winery. So we will have wine that you can purchase. Come and have a drink with me. Just putting in an entitlement on 18 apartment complex. It just, it's in the path of growth. And we're going to be repurposing our Blues and Jazz Cafe. So I just want to thank you guys for your time. And hey, I'm looking to hear from you. If you got any questions, you want to get a hold of me, hey, I'm available. I'm transparent and, get on board at Flight 2021.
Ardell, that's a heck of a presentation, brother. What amazing information that is, you guys. So, hey, this is next level right here. He's the man to connect with. If you guys have questions, we need Ardell's contact information in the notes if someone can type that in there. I'll put it in the chat. Thank you. What an amazing accomplishment. And that's just so inspiring to see someone, African-American doing it like that in our community. And we all have opportunity to do things like that, but it's being connected to the right people, to the right organization, and the NAACP is here to be that resource for you guys to help you get to the next level. So I'm so excited about that. Next, we're going to jump into some small business conversation. We have a representative on the line from Wells Fargo, who is one of our sponsors. Mrs. Karen Woodruff, are you there?
Hi, it's Karen Woodruff.
Karen, sorry.
Hi, Betty. Yeah, no problem, Tanisha. Thank you.
Please go ahead and introduce yourself. Sorry, and then go ahead and talk to us about small business loans.
Well, thank you so much for having us. And hi, Betty and Ardell. Thanks so much for inviting us to chat with you today about small business. We're thrilled to support the NAACP. We look forward to our relationship growing this year. I won't speak to it because I'm community relations, don't have the expertise in small business, but I brought along a partner of mine, Cindy Arndt, who is our small business segment leader. And she's going to share some information on SBA loans. And if there's some questions on PPP, she'll address that as well. So
Awesome.
have a great day. Cindy, you might be on mute.
Cindy
I don't.
is on mute. Oh, there she is. There she goes. Cindy?
Okay, yeah.
Cindy, can you say hello so we
Yeah,
all
I
know?
just seen her.
Looks like she's not on mute, but her mic's not working.
Oh. Why isn't her? Because we can see that she's not on mute.
Is her volume down, perhaps?
Cindy, turn your volume up. Maybe that's it. No?
The other option.
Can she call in?
Can you call in, Cindy? Do you have the number? Do we need to put it in the chat or someone need to send it to you?
Go ahead and send it to my cell phone. If you want, it looks like she left and then maybe is trying to get back in. There you are. We see you, but we can't hear you. Can you?
Okay.
Love the video
I
process.
know technology is wonderful, right?
Isn't it so much fun?
Yes.
And just to remind everyone that we're not just on Zoom where you see participants. We're on Facebook Live on 2 different Facebooks where we actually have hundreds of people watching and listening as well. So this has been some great information between all the presenters, Tanisha, Keisha, Ardell, everyone has been great. And so I'm thrilled to have Wells Fargo as one of our sponsors in making this happen. I see Cindy. Cindy, can you hear us? Cindy? I think she's on the phone now. Oh, she's sharing her screen. We can see that. But we can't hear her.
That is so strange. And you can hear me.
Right.
Right.
Oh.
You know what we can, I don't know.
Do you have, let me see if I can give her the phone number. Okay, hold on. Hi.
And maybe she can be on your speakerphone.
Yeah, let me see if I can have her. I'm going to have you just talk and see if I can put you on speaker through the phone and see if that's, hang on.
Oh, it's the feedback because okay, that I forgot about that. Did we send her the phone number? But I thought I saw her on the phone.
Just a second. I'm going to try to get you the phone number.
Yeah, it is in the chat. I see it.
We can't see the chat. I apologize. For some reason, don't have a chat. So can you just tell me the number?
1-669-900-9128. And then there's an access code. And that's 978-640-22711.
Okay, let me text that to her and see if she can do it.
Cool.
Okay, and while we're waiting on that, I would like Selena Pryor to do a commercial on on the grant process that's coming up for small businesses, especially during this COVID. Selena, are you, oh, there you are.
Yes,
Selena, can you give a commercial on what your organization, Selena is also our education chair. I'm gonna give it to Selena for right now.
Hi, everybody. I'm Selena Pryor. I am the Greater Sacramento NAACP Education Chair, and I'm also the president of the Black Small Business Association of California. We are partners with the state of California and Lindustry for the California Relief Grant. If you haven't heard about it, it's a grant. It's free. All you have to do is apply. It's not first come, first serve. It is on a lottery basis. This round, there's going to be 2 rounds. This round, the first round, ends on January 13th. So you still have time to apply. It's income based. If you need information, you can go to bsba-ca.org, or you can go to californiareliefgrant.com, and that has all of the information. It'll tell you about eligibility. We have a clinic today at 2 p.m. if you want to get specific information on how to fill out the application, or if you filled out the application and you weren't able to complete the process, you can ask questions. I have the CEO, Everett Sands. He's the CEO of Lindustry and also running point on this program for the state that will be on today at 2 p.m. So please, if you need money for your business, please apply. The criteria is not stringent. You only have had to been in business since January 1 of 2019. I think that's the most important piece that you need to know. But please apply. I'm available for questions. You can reach me at 916-573-0677. You can hit us on our website at www.bsba-ca.org or at California or careliefgrant.com. Thank you.
All right, Selena, make sure you put all that contact information in the chat. And I know those of you who are watching on Facebook, they're probably saying we can't see chat. So we're going to try to see if we can get that information on our Facebook Live as well. So now I'm going to move it back to Wells Fargo. Are we ready to try this again? Cindy, are you there?
Good morning.
There she is. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yay!
So all right. Well, it only takes us just a few things. So let's go ahead and get back to this. All right. Tell me if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Is this the beginning
all right.
of
Well, hey, thank you.
one?
It's not in presentation mode, but we can see it.
All right. Just 1 second. All right. So thank you. Good morning, everyone. I apologize for my little snafu. I loved hearing from Agent Key and Adele and Tanisha because what you all brought together was planning, persistency, and documentation. So Adele, I love that you bought that property for $86,000 because so many of our customers are asking for property. And so what I was going to do this morning is just give you a high-level overview of SBA lending. I'll provide my contact information if you wanted to reach out with me for more questions, and I can put you in contact with a local business lender. So the agenda, and I'll keep it to about less than 10 minutes to keep us on time, but I'm going to go over SBA lending, types of loans, and then I don't know if you're a business owner, maybe you can give me a thumbs up, but I know you're probably excited about the Paycheck Protection Program, and I'll go over that briefly and send you a link. All right, so the ABCs of lending, you know, the Small Business Administration's mission is to help business owners grow and thrive, which is aligned with Wells Fargo's. The SBA lending provides capital to borrowers that really sometimes you might not be able to get it from non-sources like federal, non-state, and non-government resources. So the SBA can be a perfect avenue for many businesses. The SBA loan can be used for a number of things. You can use it to expand a business, purchase real estate. Adele, I know that you were liking that, and also Key, you can purchase real estate, equipment, maybe buying a business is what you want to do, and then various other purposes. So what are types of loans? When I was looking on SBA and finding out, you know, what we could present to you, there's lots of different loans, but what we're going to do today is just cover two of them. If neither one of these are up to what you're thinking about, you certainly could reach out to myself and I could put you in contact. But I'm going to cover the SBA 7A, and this is the one where it is for business owners are looking to, you know, maybe you want to buy out a partner or buy an existing business. You see a business on the corner and it's for sale and you want to buy it. Maybe you want to buy another location. Now is the perfect time. I know we've got lots of businesses that are struggling, but a lot of businesses are doing really well, and maybe you want to expand your business or purchase real estate. Looking to combine any of the ones, you could certainly combine them all. Now, here's what's exciting. The SBA is for customers that have a net worth below 15 million, and your average net income is below 5 million. If you're looking to borrow up to $5 million, and you want to keep the terms for about 25 years, and then up to 10 years for other purposes. The exciting thing about that is a great way to stretch out those terms a lot longer. You can have either fixed or variable terms. Now the 504 is designed for business owners looking to expand, that you wanted to buy land. Say you were, you know, in the industry of, we've seen, you know, doctors and dentists wanting to build their own practice from the ground up, construction, equipment purchases. And the really nice thing about this one, it has the same guidelines for under the 15 million in net worth and then 5 million in the other, but the loan amount is raised to 6.5 million. And then we partner with the CDC, which is a Certified Development Corporation, up to 5 million. And the terms are the same, and then you do have the ability to go fixed or variable. I know we heard from Tanisha that rates are really low right now, so we're seeing that same thing with the SBA loans. So I gave you a brief overview. I could tell you all of the documentation. Of course, we're looking for creditworthy individuals. We're going to be needing tax returns. But if it's a new business, you know, we're going to probably just need your personal tax returns because we wouldn't have business. So there's so many criteria available that, you know, to go into detail, I would just say it's a case-by-case basis, and keep your documentations in line, similar to what you would need to buy a home. So the Paycheck Protection Program, I just want to share with you, it came up just not too long ago. I know that you probably saw that we've had the PPP before, but I'm just going to pull up, I think we just got a new update. I'm just going to check. Yep, yeah, so I just want to remind all of you, so on December 27th, the president signed into law a new COVID-19. We have so many small business customers asking for another round of it because, you know, we've been shut down for so long. And so it is going live. Wells Fargo is looking to support this as well, and we're hard at work preparing for this PPP process. But if you look on this website right down here that I've shared with you, it talks, you could click on it and it gives you a lot of the details on it. We're looking to be ready to go next week for you to submit your application to Wells Fargo. Now there are some guidelines, you know, you can see right in here that it was for the 27th, that it started on the 27th, and that you'll have an online application. It's going to start next week. So if you're a business owner, I would recommend going to right here, this SBA website. You'll be able to follow the guidelines on what documents that you need. I don't know if you remember, but the last time they put it in and then they shut it off and then they started it up again. And it takes a little bit of time. You can think about all the millions of business owners that are going to be applying. So I would just recommend, if you're a business owner and you have employees and you're looking for, I don't know, it's not free money, but a lot of it can be forgiven. I would say this would be a priority today and tomorrow to go on the website and pull that up, because by applying for it and getting the money, it could be forgiven. So it's really exciting. It's very timely to help a lot of our small business customers. We're excited about it. And so I'm just going to pause and ask if you have any questions for me, and then I will just put in my information in the chat.
Thank you so much for that information. That's a big deal, you guys, being able to, borrow a chunk of money and leveraging that. I mean, Wells Fargo, we really appreciate that. You guys, please make sure we have your contact information. I'm sure people have lots of questions, and we'd love to connect with you guys and figure out what we need to do to get some more money. Thank you so much for that. At this time, very welcome. At this time, we have our last speaker, last but certainly not least, Mr. Michael Blair. Very excited to chat with you today, brother, again. And I'll leave it up to you to go ahead and introduce yourself again and talk to us about what we're going to learn today.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Betty, Miss Tanisha, whole board. Thanks for having me back. Love to do this kind of stuff. When I do these financial workshops, talk about financial literacy, one question I ask is, when should you start investing? And I get all kinds of answers. So some folks say, immediately, right? And then the really smart people say yesterday. But my answer is different. My answer is before you're born. Before you're even born, there should be some investment there for you. So your parents, a lot of folks on the phone or on the line right now, your parents or their parents may not have had opportunity, right? They couldn't buy real estate. They couldn't invest in the stock market. But at our age, where we are right now, we have no excuses. So for our next generation, we need to really build that wealth. Tanisha started off talking about legacy wealth building. That's what we need to focus on. The information's out there. We just need to share it. We need to make it our duty, our responsibility to make that happen. So I'm going to jump into the presentation real quick. I want to share some stuff. I want to talk about stock investing. Neighborhood Innovation is the organization I work for, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it at the end and how to contact. And we do financial wealth building strategy workshops and many other things. This slide right here is super important because this is where a lot of us try to live in the minority community. And this is not the way to go. Do not do this. If this is anybody who does this on the weekend, we need to talk, because this is not the way to go. This is giving away all your money. It's not building wealth at all, right? They make you want to think that that's what they're doing, but they're doing exactly the opposite. So we want to make sure that folks get away from this and instead get more into this. What does this describe? This is more of you looking at money in a different way. This is you appreciating money, you respecting money, learning how money works, understanding how it flows, and really being able to be in tune with your money. So that's important. This big bag of money, this is where Ardell lives. This is where Tanisha, where Keisha lives. They're probably more in this setting. That's where we want to be. But before you get there, you have to start somewhere. And if you start with the right foundation, that will get you here, right? And make you understand that you don't need to be here. So get that right foundation. Some of you may be well past this point, right? You're dealing with much bigger dollars. That's fine. Take this information, teach the next person. Again, we need to make it our responsibility to do that. We're going to talk today about stock investing. We heard a lot about real estate, business. I want to get into the stock piece, because there is no excuse anymore why a person cannot invest in something. If you don't have that 3% saved yet, I'm going to show you how you can get to that 3% to buy that house. Doing this, stocks. If you have $5 on it, That's all you need. You got 5 on it. You can jump into the stock game. Fractional shares is what changed the total game and made it accessible to all. And when I say all, I mean all. Everybody has $5, and if you don't, I'm going to show you how you can do it with even less. You have Acorns. They do it all for you. You just say how much you want to invest, and then and you say what risk level you want to be at, and then they have professionals that pick those stocks, and you just sit back and keep on checking on your account and seeing how much money you make, and that's it. Very easy. Robinhood, one of the most popular mobile apps out there. Robinhood, I have an account there as well, and it's good for doing many things. Buying stock options is a great place to do that on Robinhood. We're not going to get into stock options today. That's a little more advanced. Maybe next time we'll talk more on that. And then Cash App. So if you don't have $5, you can go on Cash App and you can invest with just $1. So there are no more excuses, no more barriers. Everyone needs to be investing at some level, because if you don't have $1, I'll tell you what, this is my invitation. If you don't have $1, I will have my phone number at the end. You call me, I will give you $1. Okay. So we're removing all obstacles today. Today, we're going to focus on Stash App because it's not the most popular of them all, but it's a great one and millions of people use it. And I started on it. I'm very familiar with it. So that's where I want to try to drive us from. And all you have to do is just go to your mobile apps, download Stash App. That's it. Just type in Stash, it'll pull up and you'll be on your way. It will ask you for information, you know, your name, your email address, very basic stuff. They make it very user-friendly to get on. It will tie to your bank account. So they will ask you some personal information. And, you know, if you don't trust it, which a lot of folks don't, just do some investigation on Stash App itself and, you know, take a look at the history, make sure that you're comfortable. And once you are, then just go ahead and move forward, get your account going. I did a experiment on Stash App. So what I'm going to show you is a live demo of my Stash App account, but it's not my main account, my main investing account. Instead, this was just an experiment to see how fast I can come up with $1,000. That's all I wanted to do. So what I did is I said, I'm going to put $100 in, I'm going to open a Stash App account, put $100 in, and then tie it to my bank account so that $5 every week comes out into my account. So now I have $100 plus all these $5 adding up so that I could actually buy some stocks. So year one, 100% return. Every dollar I put in earned $1. And so I was able to be successful. They say the average, you know, in the stock market, the industry average, if you make an 8% return, that's great. So, you know, look at it. I'm killing it at 100%. The next year did even better, 344%. Right now, I think I'm at about 370% return. So it's going great. And this was, let's see, back in July is where I did my last count. But as of, I think December, I'm at about 370% return. So that's awesome, right? A little bit about Stash real quick is there are 1,800 ETFs and stocks. And if you don't know what an ETF is, it is electronic funds, electronically traded funds. And basically think of it as a mutual fund. So stocks, you have just your individual stocks. You have Microsoft, you have Target, you have Walmart, whatnot. ETF is just a collection of stocks. So you're kind of buying into a whole collection at the same time. And we'll actually go over that a little bit more. With Stash, there is a fee of just $1 a month. That's not too steep for most folks. And then if you want to, you know, really take advantage, you get into the $3 a month for, you can add a retirement account to that. And then also $9 a month custodial account. You can add other people, your kids, that kind of thing for $9 a month. You can invest for them. Teach them how, get them into the game, make it a family plan. So with that, I'm going to try this live demo on my phone. If it doesn't work here, then we're going to do it on the website, and that's fine too. So I can pull this up.
Real quick, Michael. So you can, so someone can use Stash on their desktop as well?
Yeah, sure can. Sure can. It's actually real simple. Let's see, let's do this. Sometimes it doesn't want to work on my phone when I connect to Zoom, but I think we're going to have success today.
Awesome.
There we go. Okay, so over to my app here, Stash, and you put in your security code. And then look at this. I put in probably about $1,900 of my own money, and look what my total is. I'm at $9 grand.
Wow.
So when you needed that 3% to come up to buy the house, guess what? That's how I got it, right? That's how you'll get it. And you have money left over to do other things, to keep on investing, to do other stuff. And that was just over a 2-year period. Probably could have happened faster if I picked different stocks and did better, but just at the rate that I went, that was my growth rate. So I'll show you a few more, show you a few more things here. Want to do some kind of I want to show you how easy it is to actually buy stock. First, I want to look at my total portfolio. So you'll see that my biggest investment, I know this might be kind of small for some, but you can see that my biggest investment was in Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
So I made this crazy 370% return, and I sounded like a genius. But look, most of it came from Tesla. So I just did what a lot of other folks did, and I just bought in. And it started to rise, and I kept on buying, and it did well. So, you know, not a whole lot of expertise into it. We can talk about trading philosophies and depending on what your strategy is and all that another time. But this is the portfolio. So as you look, you'll see that Tesla brought me over a 1,200% return. So you can't lose on that. That's awesome. And that's not super common, but it happened for me. It can happen for you. And then you see Apple, 32% return, so on and so forth. I do want to show you, you'll see some companies that you recognize, of course. And I want to show you some losers because, you know, it goes up, but sometimes it comes down. And again, this is an experiment account. So even my losers, I just held on to just to see what they would do. If you look, corporate cannabis down at the bottom, that's one that has never done well for me, but I just leave it on there just to, you know, have it as an example. And then Nikola bought some of that recently. It's not doing too well, but when you balance it all out, you see everything else is in the green and everything else is doing well. So it's all about picking the right stock, and that's just kind of keeping your ears open to what's happening in the news, what's going on around you. Ardell talked about, you know, being in the line of growth. So you look for things like that. Let me jump back because I want to show you a few more things. You can look up, well, one thing is you can automate. So let's say if you click on automated investments, what you can do is you can actually set schedules to where your stocks, you'll have actually purchases made at the intervals that you choose. So for instance, if you say, you know, I want to continue to buy Tesla and I want to buy it at $25 a month. I wanted that to kind of keep on going on a continuous basis. I don't even want to think about it. I just want it to keep on purchasing. You can set it up like that so you don't have to worry. You just check on it every now and then to make sure it's doing what it's doing, and you want to adjust it. Otherwise, it'll just continue to go for you. Now, personally, I don't do the automatic investments because I personally don't keep my eyes on my money every single day. I'm busy doing other stuff, and I'll check every now and then. So I don't want it purchasing things when maybe it's not the right time. So instead, I choose to just go in and do it when I do it. But again, it depends on your philosophy. This might work for you. And also I wanted to show searching. Click on the search button. You can do it a couple different ways. You can go by category. So let's go healthcare. All these healthcare companies pull up. And Moderna, you can see it's a 527% return. It's been doing well. Click on that one. You'll see their chart, how they've been doing over time. This is a 1-year view, or you can look at a 5-year view or a 1-month view. You see about a month ago, they were higher than they are today. But if you look at 5 years, they're up much higher than they were back then. So this tells you the share price, it's about $112 right now. It tells you a little bit about the company. And then let's say I wanted to buy this right now. It's as simple as this. Click buy. And it says, do you want to invest on the schedule? Meaning you want it to automatically purchase for you. Or if you want to just buy it right here, right now, you do that. You put in, hey, I want $5 of Moderna. I'm gonna actually go ahead and do it just to do it. It's only $5. Now, because this is a Saturday, the market's not open, but as soon as it does, it'll kick in. It gives me the option to say, hey, do you want to continue this automatic purchase? They really push you towards that. But if you don't want to do the automatic purchase and you're just done, then you hit skip. And it says your purchase is there. So it'll, on the next window of activity, it'll show up and you'll be able to see it in the portfolio. So real simple there. Get out of Moderna. And that was one way to do a search. You can also just go directly in and say, hey, I want Target. Whatever company you're interested in, Target pulls up. You can take a look at how their trending line is going, a little bit about the company. So same thing, and you just click buy and go from there. So real simple, real easy to use. You can also look up in categories. You can look up, energy, whatever it might be. You can go here to ETFs. And again, this is where everything kind of comes together. So you have a whole mutual fund of companies and you can search, technology companies. Let's see one that we might recognize. This one's Social Media Mania. If you clicked on here, what you have is, this is a whole portfolio of social media companies. And if you look at, I think it's overview, this gives you a list of some of the companies that are actually included in this whole cluster that you're buying into. So some of them you might recognize there. And with that, those are the highlights. Is there anything else that anybody's interested in seeing on this app?
There is a question,
yeah,
Michael, that came in the chat.
Sure.
It says, does Stash give you enough for investing on their basic level, or do you need to upgrade?
Oh, on the basic level, yeah, that's a good point. I have the $1 a month level. So everything you see here is what you would get.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Michael.
Sure.
Can you purchase or invest in cryptocurrencies from Stash?
You can. And I actually did my crypto through Robinhood, where I have a couple other things. But yeah, you can do crypto here as well.
Do you want to touch on that at all? Do you want to throw out anything on cryptos? It's big in the market right now for those who understand it. But for those who don't know what that is, do you want to chat about that a little bit real quick?
Yeah. And I'm going to point out one more thing here. I just remembered. On Stash, when you open it up, you have two options. You have the investment account, or you can open up an actual bank account with them if that's what you choose to do. I did not go the bank account route. But if you do, you open it up, you get your ATM card, you can do everything a regular bank can do. And I think it's a pretty good, might be 3% interest rate, something pretty decent. But you look into that before you go forward. I have enough bank accounts, so I just didn't want to add another one. But it might be quite an advantage. I know you can do the roundups when you use your ATM card that can go into your Stash app account, so that could be pretty convenient for folks. So just another piece out there. And they have a lot of education out there as well as you just start clicking around. It's a good teaching tool as well. So cryptocurrency, Bitcoin's the kind of the big one on the block, most popular, but there are hundreds of coins. And, where the market's going, who knows? I know Ethereum just recently had a 38% jump, and Litecoin has always been doing well. And then, Facebook's trying to come up with its own cryptocurrency. I know they were working on that. I don't know how far they've gotten. Akon, he has Acoin coming out. There was Sable Coin, which was a Black-owned coin. Black founders put it together, and they're kind of pushing that out worldwide. So, crypto is definitely not going anywhere, but I think a lot of it has to do with how much the federal government's going to regulate it. Right now, it's kind of free out there, but it's starting to move more towards some level of regulation. I think it's very popular, widely used around around the nation. When you have different crypto, it's kind of from different companies, and it's almost like with exchanging money or forex. So buying and selling money. So like different countries have different money, and you can actually buy and sell as it goes up and down, just like the US dollar goes up and down, the yen, all these other currencies go up and down. So it's just an alternative way to use cash and make payment, but it's on blockchain. Crypto is on blockchain. So even that whole blockchain technology, even though crypto might not be utilized as much by some companies, a lot of companies are using blockchain. So I think it's starting to really get woven into the fabric of what we do. So it's definitely something to pay attention to, because Bitcoin specifically has just skyrocketed lately, and it's going to continue to go up. And they say, I think the last estimate I heard for for Bitcoin is $400,000 per Bitcoin is what a recent estimate that came out. That's going to be over a long point of time, because I think it's probably around, I haven't checked lately, but I think it was around 3,000 to 4,000, somewhere in there right now. But there's a lot of promise for it. But again, I think it depends on what happens with regulation. You have to see how that's going to work.
Yeah, Bitcoin has been doing some crazy stuff. I've been following it. I got started in Bitcoin a long time ago. Unfortunately, I wish I would have made stronger moves in it, because now it's up to what, $40,000, something like that, something incredible. So you guys pay attention. Michael, any last thoughts that you would love to share with us? We want more. How can we get a hold of you? What do we need to do?
Okay, so one last thought is, if you want to sign up on Stash App, Robinhood, Acorns, any of these, what I'd recommend you do is this: use my referral link. The reason why is because you're going to get a bonus when you do that. If you just sign up regular through their site, they'll let you in. You'll be able to create your account, no problem. But because you're referred in, you'll actually get a bonus. And it depends on what special they have running right now. But with Stash App, if you sign up through our referral, you'll get $20 just to start off on your account for free. And then we'll get $20 as well as our nonprofit. So that's how we continue to grow and be able to help more folks. And then same with Robinhood and Acorns. You have the website down there at the bottom, and the classes that we have, text message will sign you up, get you connected. And think about what you're going to do next. When you come to events like this and we exchange information, the worst thing you can do is just say you had a good time, walk away, and do nothing. Think about your next step. Actually take a step. Take an action step. This is how you reach me. Feel free to reach out anytime. Just like everybody else has said, I'm open. Love to teach this stuff. We have ongoing classes. I'll get you the schedule, and you can continue to be a part and continue to learn together.
Thank you so much, Michael. Wow, you guys, what amazing information. I haven't even been using Stash, but I'm going to now. I just learned something today, and so this is amazing. And this is what you'll get with these Black Wealth Matters series workshops that we're doing. This will conclude Black Wealth Matters #2. And stay tuned, because we do plan on continuing this Black Wealth journey, and we just appreciate you guys, and we thank our speakers today. Betty, back to you.
Thank you, Tanisha. Great presentation. We went long, but all the information was necessary. I want to thank our sponsors, Wells Fargo, who helps us throughout the year in bringing their information in as far as small business, especially the PPP piece of it, as well as Selena. I want to thank Fairway. I always want to say Wayfair because of the commercial, but Fairway is another one of our sponsors that continues to support. And so without our sponsors, there's so much that we won't and couldn't do. Michael Blair, you were the most requested man in the history of NAACP to come back to do this piece.
Nice.
So,
all right.
So that tells me that our folks are ready for it. Also, the fact that Ardell brought in his piece, and that was a whole new concept that we never even thought about. This is the beginning of the year. I know many of you have started your goals or your resolutions for the year, so we thought it was best to start it off with Black Wealth Part 2. We will bring back Part 3 because it's just that important. Our sponsors Wells Fargo and Fairway will come back and we'll put this piece together. We'll bring Selena in as well as far as supporting. It's just been awesome. And the fact that our Facebook listeners, I wish we would have had an opportunity to answer their questions. We were only able to answer the questions for the people who were part of the Zoom, but I can tell you, everyone, we literally had hundreds of people watching the entire time. So if you want to be part of the NAACP branch, please, if we bring up that information, visit our website. We have it both ways, NAACPSAC.com, or you can do it backwards, SACNAACP.com. And please join us. Our memberships is $30 for a year. And also, if you would like to be a lifetime member, it's only $750 for an entire lifetime. You never would have to push that button again. And we would love for you to be our lifetime memberships. But what that also gives you, for those of you who are listening on Facebook, because you weren't able to get into Zoom, it went out to our sponsors and our membership. And so we will always send it out to the membership. And if you're a member, you can be part of the updates when we send out the reminders of our monthly meetings. Our monthly meetings are every second Saturday from 10 to 12. And I guess that one piece is not going to come up that just shows our information about where to go on our website and how much it costs. But that's okay. I already told you it's $30 for every year. And if you would like to call or text, our number is 916-856-0155. 916-856-0155. If you just simply need to call and join us, thank you. And join us. And if you like to be part of a committee, you see, we have lots of things going on: our education, political action, economics, and I can go on and on. We need help. We are so busy all the time. We need support for all of those committees and just for the NAACP in general. So I thank you. I'm going to give you your Saturday back. I just want to thank everyone again. Tanisha, you did an awesome job as always.
Thank you.
And all the speakers, and Wells Fargo, at the last minute. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just can't say enough. And so enjoy your Saturday, and be sure to check us out in February, the second Saturday from 10 to 12. Thank you. Our host, we are ending this now. Thank you.
Thanks.